Very good morning. This is Mayor Walensky with Driving Markets. Let's kick off. Okay, so Evergrande, the big Chinese property company in China, filed for bankruptcy last week or the week before, which was Chapter 15, which is protect its US assets. The shares opened today on the Hong Kong exchange after closing or being suspended back in March 2022, and they dropped by 87%. Now the funny thing is that they may actually be a good investment from here, even though they've dropped 87%. They're 22 cents a share. The reason being is because you've got to look at the downside on them. The downside is 22 cents. The downside is it could go bust. Downside is you could lose all your money. On the other hand, if they get a massive restructuring of their debt, which is only 2.44 trillion yuan, then there could be onto a potential uplift. I know it sounds a bit ridiculous. I'm going hell bent against the Chinese property market, considering it's in tatters and is in a poor state and unlikely to recover for years. However, as a trade, then you may find that Evergrande could be a reasonable trade at these levels. So just keep an eye on them, and for the sake of a punt or a gamble or a bet, then you may be potentially onto a winner, or you could lose all your money. So take that into account when trading. Also, China has reduced the stamp duty on purchase and selling of shares in China, and that gave it a boost, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to relax their monetary restrictions and give the economy a bit of a boost. It's not going to work. It did work this morning as a 1 day or maybe 2 day trade, but it's not going to work longer term. They're in too much of a mess. This week you've got the non-farm payrolls out in the US, and you've got the JOLTS report, which is the job opening labor turnover survey. Non-farm payrolls, interestingly enough, every month that they come out, they're being revised downwards. Or let's put it this way, the numbers come out, then a month later the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the US suspiciously down or revises them downwards. Now what's interesting about that is that the Wall Street analysts were paid millions, and they more or less know their stuff, or in a position whereby they're coming out with the number and they're always wrong, or they've been wrong for the last 18 months. And that does smell of a little bit of a manipulation by the US authorities and by the Bureau of Labor Statistics in order to give the good feel impression that the economy is doing very, very well and everyone's got a job and there's full employment, shortage of labor, etc. Well, a lot of people have two jobs. When you have two jobs, both jobs are counted, and therefore it looks like that there's more jobs available, but yet it's the same person holding two jobs, so the numbers aren't 100% correct. Just to say, as a guidance by myself, I see deeper into the numbers, I don't see that they really are true numbers. Also, you've got the personal consumption expenditure out in the US. That is the most favored measure of inflation by the Fed. If that moves up, then there'll be more pressure on the Fed to raise rates. Looking at markets this week, probably going to have a little bit of a bounce after the last 3-week sell-off. You could see the Nasdaq moving up a bit probably this week as a rebound. So anyone who's looking to go long of any tech stocks, then probably this week could be a good idea. However, don't hold on to them for too long, because it'll just be a short-term bounce, in my opinion. There's a lot of unsteadiness out there. The AI chat GPT that came out at the beginning of the year and boosted markets for the last 8 months, that's sort of whittling away, even though Nvidia came out with the most amazing results last week. I'm calling the Nvidia still down to about 430, even though it could have a bounce this week from the Nasdaq. Meta, Amazon, Apple also probably will bounce a little bit, but overall I expect Meta to fall to around about the 265, 260 level, and Apple to fall to about the 145, 150. I'm still calling it down to those levels. And that's more or less it. Bank holiday in the UK, so the FTSE is closed. Not really much happening. Bitcoin struggling at 26,000. All pretty quiet out there. This is Mayor Walensky with a Driving Market. You can share, subscribe, comment. Catch you later.